The Chicago Sky is making headlines again, but not because of a clutch three or a jaw-dropping highlight. Nope. This time it's all about sideline chaos starring none other than Angel Reese, who's been busy collecting TikTok views and Instagram likes while apparently forgetting that real leadership isn't something you can edit in with a filter. Her latest meltdown has left first-year head coach Tyler Marsh in a serious bind, stuck choosing between enforcing discipline or letting dysfunction run wild. One wrong decision here, and his rookie coaching season might end up as the ultimate cautionary tale for every team that confuses big-name hype with actual chemistry. This all came to a head during the final seconds of a tense 81-79 loss to the Washington Mystics. With just under 30 seconds left in the game tied at 77, Reese decided to go off script in spectacular fashion. She stormed over to the sidelines and slapped a clipboard clean out of the hands of Ann Crosby, who just so happens to be the VP of basketball operations and the team's strength and conditioning lead. This wasn't just a tiny temper flare. It was a full-on meltdown playing out live on national TV for everyone to see. The referees blew every whistle. Like, I'm not joking. There was one play where Angel Reese dribbled backward. She backed into Aaliyah Edwards and tripped over her own feet and got free throws. The free throws that led to this happening were unbelievably soft. That led to Angel Reese breaking a coach's clipboard, walking over and slapping a coach's clipboard and let's be clear, this wasn't some harmless accident or a little trip of the foot. This was calculated, flat-out disrespect blasted in HD Angel Reese, who just landed the NBA 2K26 cover as supposedly the face of leadership and greatness, couldn't hold it together for half a minute. In the biggest crunch time of the game, she let her emotions steamroll her professionalism, leaving maturity right there on the bench where it apparently feels most comfortable. What makes it worse? This isn't an isolated thing. It's just the latest episode in a season-long reality series starring Angel Reese. She's been busy stirring the pot all year, on the court, off the court, wherever she can. Drama trails behind her like a stubborn shadow she refuses to shake. Other people are picking up on is when she is walking over to the bench and she slaps the clipboard out of her coach's hand. And you guys, my honest reaction to this, right? First of all, I was just laughing. It's kind of like the reaction that you're seeing from me right here. I wouldn't look into this too hard. I know it's already become controversial because they're like, oh, if another player did this, there would be think pieces written about it. Remember all the endless sub-tweets at Caitlin Clark? The weekly rants about refs somehow conspiring against her? The endless poor me routine she's been milking since tip-off? This clipboard debacle is simply the newest entry in what's clearly evolving into the Angel Reese Variety Hour. And let's be honest, real stars, the kind you build around, don't behave this way. After the outburst, she hit social media with a limp excuse. Those were pissing me off, she posted. Like that somehow justified slapping clipboards out of executives' hands. No ownership, no real apology, just another throwaway excuse. And fans are seeing right through it. Are you okay, Barbie? The emotional decline continues for Angel Reese. The temper tantrums, the complete loss of emotional control continues for the Bayou Barbie, as well as the Chi-Town Barbie and Double-Double Barbie, and whatever other alias that Angel Reese has decided. Now we've got to talk about Tyler Marsh because the poor guy is in an absolute no-win situation. This is his first year as a head coach, and he arrived in Chicago with a loaded resume, NBA, WNBA, multiple championship runs. He's been molded by some of the best minds in the business. Nick Nurse, Rick Carlisle, Becky Hammon. The man is known for building trust, developing players, crafting cultures where teams actually thrive. But all that experience means zilch if he can't control his own locker room. Right now, watching Angel Reese swat clipboards out of staffers' hands with zero fallout, it's starting to look like the players are calling the shots, not the coach. Marsh was hired specifically because of his reputation for building cultures of accountability and mutual respect. GM Jeff Pagliocca even went on record bragging about Marsh's dedication to growing each player's individual strengths and his sharp basketball mind. But calm speeches and elegant philosophies don't mean a thing if they don't translate into discipline when it's needed most. This right here is Marsh's first true gut check as a head coach. Drawing up X's and O's, juggling rotations, helping players improve. That's the easy stuff. The real test is what happens when your so-called star decides to act like a brat in front of millions. So, what did Marsh do after that clipboard clattered to the floor? Did he instantly yank Reese out of the game? Pull her aside for a serious chat? Sit her on the bench to let her cool off? According to every report, nope. None of that. The game just rolled on, and Reese finished up with 22 points and 15 boards. Nice stats that got completely overshadowed by her on-air tantrum. And that silence from Marsh? It's deafening, especially when you remember all his talk about accountability and building a title-worthy culture. Because championship environments aren't built just by players who can put up numbers. They're forged by players who keep their composure under pressure, who lead by example, who don't slap clipboards out of executives' hands on live TV. This is where things get downright fascinating. Angel Reese loves to brand herself as a role model. She's quick to preach about representation, about inspiring young girls to be bold, confident, and unapologetically take up space. But seriously, what message is she sending when she decides to take her frustration out on a member of her own coaching staff? If this had been any other player, some rookie on a 10-day contract or a bench warmer trying to secure a roster spot, there would have been instant consequences. A benching, a hefty fine, maybe even a suspension. But because it's Angel Reese, the supposed face of the franchise, the double-double darling of social media headlines, it's suddenly a different rulebook. Meanwhile, look at the scoreboard. The Chicago Sky are 6-13, dangling near the league's basement. They're not just losing games, they're losing their entire identity. When your so-called star player is more focused on building her online brand than leading her team to wins, when she's out here slapping clipboards because the refs aren't calling things her way, you're not running a basketball team. You're running a reality show with sneakers. Angel Reese had a great game. She had 22 points, 15 rebounds. There were some questionable calls from the referees on both ends of the floor during this game against the Washington Mystics, and they ended up losing by 2 points at the end of the game. And so she's a competitor. Love or hate Angel Reese, she's a competitor. She's a fierce competitor. And I feel like this was just a moment where her frustrations got the best of her. Hopefully, later on, I'm sure she'll probably see us on social media and she'll go up to her coach and be like, my bad, coach, that was not cool of me. I shouldn't have slapped the clipboard. And let's be real about the WNBA's part in all this. This is the same league that has been chasing down phantom conspiracy theories while ignoring glaring issues happening right under their noses. The same league that's more worried about sparing certain players' feelings than actually enforcing professional standards. They've got rules on paper, guidelines for how players should treat coaches, staff, and each other. But apparently when it comes to Angel Reese, those are just gentle suggestions. Because the league has been dead quiet about this clipboard fiasco, just like it's been quiet about every other bit of questionable behavior Reese has pulled this season. Now zoom back in on Tyler Marsh. This guy didn't come to Chicago to babysit a locker room circus. He arrived with a reputation for creating cultures built on trust and mutual accountability. General Manager Jeff Pagliocca even sang his praises, saying Marsh was committed to maximizing every player's unique gifts, backed by a calm demeanor and serious basketball IQ. But cool philosophies and inspirational pep talks mean absolutely nothing if he can't put his foot down when it matters. This is Marsh's first real crucible as a head coach. Drawing up plays, managing rotations, and developing talent, that's the easy checklist. The hard part, handling the moment your star player acts like a petulant child in front of a national TV audience. Angel Reese said that she was done being polite, she was done being humble. I'm done being silent. The Bayou Barbie is mad, 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 and Barbie is about to start clapping back at the haters. So what did Marsh do when Reese smacked that clipboard? Did he pull her immediately? Sit her down and send a message? Nope. According to every report out there, he didn't do a single thing. The game just rolled on. Reese wrapped up her night with 22 points and 15 boards, and all anyone could talk about was her lack of composure instead of her stat line. That's where it all starts to unravel. Marsh has spent months talking about building a championship-level environment, accountability, professionalism, a culture where players can truly flourish. But you can't have that if you're terrified to hold your star accountable. Championship teams aren't built on just skill, they're built on discipline. Here's the real kicker. Angel Reese never stops talking about how she's a role model. She's the brand new cover star for NBA 2K26. She's got her own signature shoe line, and she's landed a mountain of sponsorship deals. Millions of little girls are watching her every move, and what exactly did she just teach them? That if you're flashy enough, popular enough, if you pull down enough rebounds, you can act any way you please and dodge all consequences. That's not leadership. That's straight up entitlement. This moment, this clipboard slap, this is Tyler Marsh's line in the sand. It's where he gets to prove whether he's really the transformative coach the Sky thought they were hiring, or just another bench boss too afraid to confront his top player. The easy move? Do nothing. Hope it fades. Focus on the pretty box score, the double-double streak, the all-star nods. But you know what? Easy never builds banners. The hard choice, the championship choice, is holding everyone to the same standard. Demanding respect, enforcing accountability, making it clear that culture matters more than ego. Every player, every assistant, every person in that building is watching to see if Marsh has that backbone, because championship coaches don't let star players humiliate their staff. They don't bury behavioral problems out of fear of rocking the boat. They understand that talent without accountability is just wasted potential. Look back at Phil Jackson. He didn't let Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant steamroll the staff. Pat Riley never let LeBron or D. Wade act out unchecked. Becky Hammon didn't grant A'ja Wilson a free pass just because she was the face of the franchise. They all demanded standards, and that's exactly why they lifted trophies. Tyler Marsh's credibility as a coach is hanging by a thread. Because here's the truth. That's not how championship cultures work. That's how disaster happens. And with the Sky slogging through a 6-13 season that feels more like a daily soap opera than a pursuit of greatness, disaster is right where they're headed. The fix isn't complicated, it's just gutsy. Marsh needs to remember why he was brought to Chicago. Not to cozy up to Angel Reese, not to play hype man for her social feeds, and definitely not to enable her theatrics. He was hired to create a championship culture, and that starts with holding everyone equally accountable, even the franchise face. The Chicago Sky need to decide if they're going to be a serious basketball team that demands excellence or a viral sideshow that just happens to dribble the ball. Tyler Marsh showed up in Chicago promising something special. He carried a legacy of titles, strategy, and proven leadership. But none of that means squat if he can't keep control of his locker room. Angel Reese smacking that clipboard wasn't just frustration. It was a test of Marsh's authority, a test of the Sky's standards, a test of the WNBA's professionalism. And right now, everyone's failing. Because a culture where respect is optional is a recipe for exactly what we're seeing now. A team brimming with potential, led by a star who'd rather set the tone on Twitter than on the hardwood, coached by a man still deciding if he's willing to lead. That's not a championship formula. That's just more of the same heartbreak Sky fans have been living through for seasons. And it's high time someone in that building finally decided enough is enough.